Does the Bible really talk about hemorrhoids? You bet your sore tush it does. The first mention of hemorrhoids or emerods in the Bible is found in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 27, which says, "The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed." The word emerods in Hebrew is tukor, which means tumors or hemorrhoids. What's interesting is how God put hemorrhoids and the itch in the same sentence. 1 Samuel chapter 2 tells us Eli had two priest sons, Hophni and Phinehas, who were greedy sexual predators that used their power in horrible ways, taking advantage of the Israelite people. In the same chapter, God also tells Eli that both of his sons would be killed on the same day. Moving on to 1 Samuel chapter 4, we see that the Israelites were battling the Philistines. The Israelites were defeated, so Hophni and Phinehas had the bright idea to bring the Ark of the Covenant to battle, which did in fact scare the Philistines. However, they fought anyway, defeated the Israelites, stole the Ark, and killed Hophni and Phinehas. When Eli found out, he fell over and died, and when Phinehas' wife found out, she gave birth to a son and named him Ichabod, meaning the glory has left. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verses 1 through 4 says, "And the Philistines took the ark of God, and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon, and set it by Dagon. And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon, and set him in his place again. And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him." Dagon ended up as nothing more than a broken god. So God was not happy that worshippers of the pagan god Dagon possessed the ark. So he put the heat on them with a flaring case of hemorrhoids, as seen in 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 6. "But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them of Ashdod, and he destroyed them, and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod and the coast thereof." However, the Bible does not casually mention this affliction in just one verse and leave it alone. No, it goes out of its way to point out that the Philistines had a big problem in their pants. 1 Samuel chapter 5 verse 9 says, "And it was so, that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emerods in their secret parts." 1 Samuel chapter 5 verses 10 through 12 says, "Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. And it came to pass, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, They have brought about the ark of the God of Israel to us, to slay us and our people. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines, and said, Send away the ark of the God of Israel, and let it go again to his own place, that it slay us not, and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there. And the men that died not were smitten with the emerods, and the cry of the city went up to heaven." This was no doubt probably the worst case of hemorrhoids in the history of mankind. Also keep in mind there was no preparation H at the time. 1 Samuel chapter 6 tells us the ark had been in the Philistines' possession for 7 agonizing months. The Philistines could not stand the itching, swelling, burning, and bleeding any longer. Upon meeting with their priests and diviners, the Philistines decided they would return the ark, along with the gift of a trespass offering, which is basically a way to pay off a debt. What were these trespass offerings, you ask? 1 Samuel chapter 6 verses 4 and 5. "Then said they, What shall be the trespass offering which we shall return to him? They answered, 5 golden emerods, and 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines, for one plague was on you all and on your lords." Wherefore ye shall make images of your emerods, and images of your mice that mar the land, and ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel. Peradventure he will lighten his hand from off you, and from off your gods, and from off your land. And they did just that. They made 5 hemorrhoids of gold, along with 5 golden mice. The Philistines loaded the gold as well as the ark onto a cart being pulled by 2 milk cows. The cows, with only divine guidance, finally made their way back to the territory of Israel.